So today we are going to be learning how to make strawberry compote with rhubarb. It is kind of like a sweet strawberry sauce you can put on ice cream and all other kind of desserts. First you need your sugar, strawberries, rhubarb, some type of pan, any type really will do, a cutting board, and a strainer. Now, the first thing you are going to do is rinse your strawberries. Let's put them in there. So now we are going to cut up the strawberries. First you're going to take the little leafy thing off and then cut it once where the leaf stem was and then once down the middle. So you get like 2 halves of a strawberry. Sorry you can't really see what I'm doing right now. I'm a lefty and that is unfortunate. This time. Now you can see a little better. You cut off right there where the stem is, and then you slice once down the middle. Like that. So you do that to all of them. And now you throw away the scraps. So now we are going to move on to the rhubarb. The rhubarb I really like in this recipe. You can do it with just strawberries, but the rhubarb is this sour, almost looks like red celery, and it adds a nice little zest to the recipe. Now this piece has a brown spot on it that you do not want, but the piece can still be salvaged if you cut it off. Well, first we're going to wash it. You can wash them in a strainer, but I'm just going to show you how to do a few pieces, so I'm just going to wash them individually. Now you just cut off the piece with the brown spot on it as close as you can. You want to save as much rhubarb as possible and not be wasteful. So you just cut that right off. Cuts nice and clean like celery. And now you have your nice clean piece. So cut off the ends. And then cut them into little pieces about that big. Again, whoa, that one flying. They can vary in length. Doesn't really matter. They'll get squishy when you cook them, so it's not a big deal really what size they are, as long as they're cut. This again, this piece is good. It doesn't have any brown spots on it. Wash it, and then cut off the edges, and cut it up. Now you put that in your pan with the strawberries, and you know, I like to add a lot of rhubarb. So you'll get that, and again, I add a lot of rhubarb because I like the sour taste. And now looking at it again, I can see that there are some pieces in there with brown spots on them, which I don't want, so I'll just take those out. This is a precautionary step that you should probably take just in case. I mean, it won't hurt you if you eat them, but they'll just taste bad, so just take those pieces out, and then you're good to go. So one more step before we cook it. We are going to add our sugar. Now the sugar is very important because it melts and prevents the strawberries and rhubarb from burning. It creates this liquid, and also it draws the moisture out of the strawberries, which creates the nice. So don't think that you're gonna make it healthier by not adding sugar, because you're just gonna end up with a big put on ice cream black pot of crap. We're gonna take a spoon and mix it all up. The more sugar, the better. We're gonna cook it. Add more sugar. It is important to cook it on low heat, not high. To medium. It's gotta be on low. This is a step you do not want to skip. You need the sugar in there, or it will burn. You can let that cook for about 10 to 20 minutes, depending on your stove. If you do cook it for a longer amount of time, keep checking it, because you don't want it to burn. It's happened to me. So now you're going to want to keep checking on it, and you're going to want to keep stirring it as it's cooking. This is about after a few minutes. Nothing's really happened yet, but you know, keep coming back, keep checking it and stirring. And then, if you want, I like to keep adding sugar every few minutes. Not too much, just enough to give it another coating. Then this is, you can see, now this has been cooking for a little while longer, and you can see the juices that are starting to come out of the strawberries, and that is good. But that is not even close to done though. So you might, I first cooked this, I thought it was done when I first saw it. The juice is kind of coming out, but no, you want to cook it until the rhubarb or the strawberries are soft. If you're just cooking with strawberries, and just when the strawberries are soft. This is when it's fully cooked. This is after about 15 to 20 minutes. You can see how soft they are, and the liquid's kind of turned it into this kind of like soup almost. So now you just make sure everything's soft, nothing's hard. That means that it's cooked good. And don't cook it too long, or else you'll start smelling that underneath. It will be burning. And if that does happen, just turn it off. Usually that's just the residue in the pan, so you can still save it. But so there we go. There is our strawberry rhubarb compote. And you can put a little, I like to put a little sugar in at the end. Just mix that up. And mine's gonna be really sour because I added a lot of rhubarb, but that's the way I like it. I also really like it just with strawberries. That gives you a nice sweet flavor that a lot of people like. So you can turn off the heat and let that cool. Now here's our finished result. That's about how much that makes. You can see how red it is. I always think it's just like kind of really a nice red color. You can see it's very good on ice cream once it cools. You can serve it hot or cold. Do anything really like with it. I think it's a really good recipe. It's really easy and makes a nice topping for your dessert. Next time we will be making rhubarb bread, keeping our ingredient of rhubarb. It has a nice sugary layer on the top and is bread on the bottom, and it may not look really impressive, but it is so delicious. I give this to people. You can see the rhubarb in there in the bread. It's very moist. I give this to people and they just come to me asking for the recipe, so finally I'm gonna put it out there. So look forward to that.